All right, so tonight I had one of my ideas, and um, I'm not wearing hockey. I'm wearing Doctor Who, but it's festive. It's Christmas because there's a Christmas wreath on it. Um, and my idea is this. So I did the draft lottery getting trashed idea, and I don't expect this to be much more popular. But every year we have the Hall of Fame, and this year, Eric Lindros goes in the Hall, and everybody has their opinion whether or not he should be in there. Um, I have my opinion on the matter, but I'm going to leave it at that because that's not what this is about. Um, I had the idea of with fighting being down, okay, and it's been down, and the enforcer role kind of being taken out of the league, kind of being phased out. Why not have an enforcer wing of the Hall of Fame? So let's say for year one, you put in guys like Semenko, Tiger Williams. You could throw in, and the tricky part would be Bob Probert would be an automatic, right? But you're inducting him posthumously. Humously? How do you say that? Posthumously? When you're after they passed away? Posthumously? Doesn't matter. Posthumously. That's as close as I can get to saying it properly. Anyways, and that's part of the reason why I had this idea of, well, you should have a wing for them, because you look and you see Rick Rippon, Derek Bugard, um, John Kordick. I was gonna say Joey Koser, but no, John Kordick, Bob Probert. I mean, these guys are all gone. Sorry, got interrupted there. So my thought on this is this: like, you have a lot of enforcers who've played in the league. Tiger Williams being the most obvious. Tim Hunter being another. You've got guys who've won Stanley Cups, guys who when they've won championships, whether it's a Tim Hunter or it's a Dave Semenko, that the teams have said these guys were key. Now we can debate whether or not they were key. We can debate whether or not they played a major role. And in these days of analytics, enforcers are basically out. Um, skill reigning on all four lines kind of put them out. So once you exhaust yourself of Hall of Fame worthy enforcers, you can then go to your power forwards. And you're going to your power forwards who don't have the stats. Like, I'm looking at current guys, I'm looking at Cal Clutterbuck and the amount of hits he's putting up. It's crazy. I think part of where Hall of Fames drive me nuts, okay? Baseball's bad for this. You've got X amount of hits, you're in the Hall of Fame. You fall short, you're probably not in the Hall of Fame. X amount of home runs, you're in the Hall of Fame. Steroid era, you're probably not in the Hall of Fame. Like the Mark McGwire argument, right? Well, steroids. Fine. Okay. Fine with that. But it's a Hall of Fame. And to me, the most famous players should be enshrined there. You can put them in their own wing. Like, baseball should really have their own wing for guys from that era. And just have basically a blanket statement saying these guys got great stats, set tremendous records, may not have been clean, but they deserve their place as famous ball players. With enforcers, you don't even have that. You can just say these guys are tough as nails. These are the guys you want with you in the trenches. Your Ty Domies, your Joey Kosers. And the way you can do it too is that you put in your first say for enforcers, and then let's say like Don Cherry. I mean, come on, Don Cherry would love to host this. Be amazing. You have them, Don Cherry, Ron Hextall, a few of these guys all get together and say, all right, which badass, past and present, and you have the same 3 to 5 year waiting rule for getting in the hall, and you say, all right, who deserves to be in here? And you just have it go from the guys who are already in. All right, who belongs in this group? And then we as fans have to accept, hey, that guy's one of the toughest guys who's ever played. If he says Joey Koser belongs in the Hall of Fame, I'm not going to argue with him. And you could, the stories you'd have, the acceptance speeches, just and I mean the best best example I've thought of. Um, you have the Razzie Awards every year, right? So you have your Oscars for the greatest and your Razzies for the worst. I'm going somewhere with this, and it's not to insult enforcers either. Sandra Bullock won Best Actress and Worst Actress the same year. So she won Best Actress at the Oscars, and she, for um, that football movie with the black kid and she saves him or whatever. Don't even remember now because I never saw it. And then the movie she got Worst Actress for was the one that had the name Steve in it. I don't really care. It was a horrible movie too. But she did her acceptance speech at the Emmys, then she just did her acceptance speech at the Razzies. Her acceptance speech at the Razzies was so much more entertaining than what was at the Oscars. It was one of the most entertaining acceptance speeches everywhere. Now, I'm not saying enforcers are bad hockey players, they're not. But their speeches, compared to the I'd like to thank everybody that you get when you're being accepted in the Hall of Fame. The Enforcers Hall of Fame, you would have stories and with the talk I'm doing about trash talking today and just getting into that, I'm thinking about enforcers and how the most interesting stories, like right now, John Scott retired yesterday, and I can tie that into this. John Scott would belong in an enforcers Hall of Fame, just based on the fact he was voted into the All-Star game. Now John Scott's writing a book, and rumor has he's going to name names, and I can assume that he's naming names about his getting voted into the Hall, or into the Hall, getting voted onto the All-Star game, and who didn't want him there, and what happened, and everything that went on. And there's been talk of them making a movie about it. His speech going into an Enforcers Hall of Fame would be so much more entertaining than anything Eric Lindros comes up with, than anything Joe Sakic came up with when he was induced into the hall, or inducted into the Hall of Fame. Not induced. He wasn't pregnant. My God, I'm tired. I've had a long day. So speaking about Joe Sakic being induced is one of those things. I'm sorry if you're watching this, Joe. I'm sorry. I never meant to insinuate you were pregnant. Um, but yeah, you would have some of the best speeches. You could have Don Cherry hosting it every year, and as Don Cherry gets older, you could bring out, and I know people hate Nick Kypreos, but honestly, and Nick Kypreos is good for two things. For whatever reason, he's got great sources. So if he tells you GMs are telling me this trade's happening, you could pretty much bet on it happening. And he has great stories. He really does. He has great stories about players. And you would have a respect within that group. And as a fan, whether I like or dislike fighting or whether I want it out or want it in, it doesn't matter. This would work. This would be a tremendous, fun atmosphere. And I don't think hockey always has that. And I think this is where the American buck comes in. Americans would watch it too. Because you're going to have a lot of fighting footage, and you're going to have guys talking about, my favorite fight. You could have, that could be the thing. You could have all these guys sitting there and saying, this was my favorite fight. This was my favorite guy to fight. This was the best fight I ever had. This was the most entertaining fight. Oh, the time I got my ass kicked was by the guy who beat me up that I didn't think could was. Just imagine the stories. The stories are so much more entertaining because we see the goals, we see the saves, we see the highlight reel stuff. We don't see a lot of the other stuff. Years later, we're still seeing Mario Lemieux skating through the entire Dallas Stars and scoring on John Casey. That goal's there forever. But some fight that Ty Domi had when he was a Ranger, but that might be the one that Ty Domi wants to talk about. And maybe Ty Domi and Chris King go in the same year and they discuss fights they had with each other when they were teammates and how that worked. And I think you could have a tremendous amount of fun with that idea. So feedback is welcome. Tell me why it wouldn't work. Again, I know the NHL would never go for it. I know Don Cherry would probably go for it. But again, it's not about Hall of Fame. These guys are on the same level as a Gretzky or Lemieux, but there's fame there. If I walk into a bar tomorrow and I see Tiger Williams, I recognize Tiger Williams. Most Canadians will recognize Tiger Williams. And we recognize Tim Hunter. You can't not recognize Tim Hunter with that nose. But these are guys who have fame. And they have fame because of what they did. And they were good at what they did. And some of them, like Dale Hunter or Tiger Williams, put up decent point totals too for what they were doing. So there's something to be said for giving them a place inside the Hall of Fame. Why not? Like I said, a separate wing. They don't get the same everything. You could have tremendous fun with it. But again, this is just me spitballing ideas. Let me know what you think. Uh, tell me why it wouldn't work. Tell me why it's a terrible idea. Like I said, I know enforcers are going out of the game. I know it's not the same, but there's still guys who know how to fight. You may not have a Peter Worrell. You may not have a Ken Baumgartner. You may not have a George Laraque right now, but you've got Lucic. You've got guys who can throw down if they have to. And your power forwards, you have certain power forwards who dominate the game. Don't put up the kind of stats that are going to get them into the Hall of Fame, but they get a spot in the enforcer's wing too. If you're tough as nails, and you could even allow for like a Mark Messier or a Gordie Howe to get inducted into that tough guys Hall of Fame because they're tough as nails too. Why not? Have fun with it. And have fun with the comments on this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. I know I'm uploading this kind of late for people on the East Coast, but it's an idea I had. I wanted to throw it out there while the idea is there, and we'll start fresh again tomorrow. Now, tomorrow I am going to be on the road early in the morning, so I don't plan on bringing the computer with me, but it has been suggested to bring the computer with me on the road and do a video while I'm traveling. If it snows tomorrow, and it's snowing right now, and if the roads are whatever, maybe I'll give it a shot because a video while driving in blizzard conditions could be kind of fun. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you're just browsing through, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I'm going to continue to try to come up with video ideas that are different, completely different. I personally got tired of the same predictions every day and just doing some of the same stuff every day. So I'm just trying to break out of that. I may go back to it soon. I didn't have a chance to live stream tonight because of the Christmas concert I was at with the this stuff. I was going to do an NHL stream, but the time's too late. I may have time. No, tomorrow was bad too. But I may do a video from my Christmas party at work. I haven't decided yet. I could have a lot of fun with that, and I've got a good phone for doing a video, and I could probably come up with something funny at my work's Christmas party. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your support, and I'll talk to you all again tomorrow.